Hello and welcome everyone. This is Sunil from 3D Architects, and once again welcome to my YouTube channel. And we are in the fourth part of our architectural visualization tutorial inside Unreal Engine. In this part we are going to import all the exported objects from 3D Studio Max, and now it's time to bring them inside Unreal Engine and proceed ahead. So without any further ado, let's get started. For that, what we'll have to do is we have to open Unreal Engine, and then in new projects go inside blueprints. Make sure you have selected first person, and once first person is selected, we will go and check that it's on maximum quality desktop console, and then with a starter content. If it's without a starter or no starter content, just switch it to with a starter content, and then quality should be maximum quality, and then it should be desktop and console. After that, just select a space where you want to save your project, and then name the project. And the name of the project will be archviz underscore tutorial. Okay, now what we have done is we have selected first person, and then desktop and console, maximum quality with a starter content, a place where this project will be saved, and in that place there will be a folder named archviz tutorial. And then once we create it, it will create a project with name archviz tutorial inside this Unreal Engine projects. So go ahead and click create project, and once the editor is opened, then this will be the interface. If we select the third person template while creating the project, and this will be the settings which will be open, and this user interface may be different for you, but it will open something like this, and there will be first person template and all those things. We will start organizing the scene as much as possible so that everything comes in an organized way and in a systematic way. For that, the first thing first will be, we'll go inside content browser, and then in content, and we will make a folder named project. Go inside the project folder, and we'll make a folder named levels, and then we'll again make a folder and we'll name meshes, and then again we'll make one more folder and we'll name materials. So now what we have done is we went inside content browser, we made a folder named project, and inside project we made a folder named levels, materials and meshes. And after this, what we will have to do is we will go inside levels, and we will go in file, and we will make a new level, and in this new level select default template. Don't select empty, we are basic, just select default, and then select this base object or this floor object, and then delete it. And after deleting that floor object, go inside file, and then save current as, and go inside projects, and then levels, and then new map, and then name it new map 01, and then save it. Now what we have done is we have made a separate level, because all the projects I do on architecture visualization inside Unreal Engine, I use this default template and this new level default, and we have made that one, and then we have deleted the floor, and after that we have saved it, save at the current layer. And after that, go inside edit and go with editor preferences, and I don't like editor saving the files all time by itself, so I just go and switch off all this auto save option. You can click only this also, it will stop auto saving, and then click the edit, close this editor preferences, and then again go to edit, and then go inside project settings. And in project settings, what you have to do is first of all go inside maps and modes, and in maps and modes go in editor, startup map and game default map, and then make this both map to load new map 01 on once the engine starts, or once you start this application Unreal Engine, and then if you select this project, it is always start on this new map 01, new map 01. And this you can do by maps and modes, and then default map, editor startup map, and then game default map. Make both new map 01, new map 01. And after that scroll down, to renderings, and then in rendering what you will have to do is you will have to switch off texture streaming. And once you switch off the texture streaming, the advantage of switching off the texture streaming is if you go ahead and make this project, and if these projects get detailed, then this texture streaming will kick in, and it will always load texture while you are in game, or while you are playing the game inside editor. Then you will see the loading of the texture in front of you, and we don't want, because this is an architectural visualization project, and in this project we want absolute photorealism, and to avoid all those hiccups of texture loading in front of you while playing in the editor, we just switch off texture streaming. So I hope you now you know why we switch off texture streaming. And then go to the default settings, and then we will switch all the default settings that are here, because we will use all the effects that are present here, not by the editor itself. We will control all those settings by ourselves. We will make a post process inside the scene later on, and we will control all the settings like bloom, ambient occlusion, auto exposure, and all those settings, and motion blur. We will use them according to our requirement and our settings. For that we will have to switch bloom, we will have to switch ambient occlusion, and all those items present in this. If anything is checked in, just check it out. And in this point lights unit and spotlight units, make sure it's selected candelas, because I like working in candelas instead of unitless and lumens. Lumens is also good to work, but I prefer candelas. And after that we are done configuring everything inside project settings. So again, close project settings, and what we will have to do after this is go inside message, and then right click, and then import. Go inside message folder, and then on empty area right click, and then there is a option to import to game project message. That means this is the import settings, and then just click on this and go inside the folder where you have saved that 3ds Max file and your exported objects. So this is the folder where I have stored all the assets of 3ds Max file, including Max file, and that exported objects which we exported in the last video. There will be lots and lots of objects because we have break them into smaller parts. Just go ahead and start importing them one by one, and this object can be of 1000, 2000, any amount of number you have got after breaking the objects. I have not break all the items because due to the tutorials it will take long time, so I use this. So in the 3ds Max export folder where you have exported meshes from 3D Studio Max, go inside that folder and then select all the objects. If the number is too much, like 2000, 5000 objects, then you just go on importing 0 to 500 first, and as you will see we have given a numeric name of it. Then it will be very easy for you. Just go and select from 0 to 500, import it, and like this. So suppose example, for an example what we'll do is we'll assume that this object, these are the 1500 objects, these are the 1500, these are the 1500, and these are 1500. That means these are the total number of objects are 6000, and we will import all those 6000 from 0 to 500, 0 to 1500, and then 1501 to 3000, and 3001 to 4500, and then 4501 to 6000. So on that for also on that regard, what we'll do is we'll select from 0 to 1500 and then open them. This panel is a very crucial step towards importing our object inside Unreal Engine, and in this I will let you know the exact settings which I use to import the objects inside Unreal Engine, and those settings are just switch off auto generate collision. We will generate collisions ourselves and depending on our requirements and the way how we need it, and then generate light map UVs, switch it off, and then one convex hull per UCX, switch it off. And in normal import method, make sure you have selected compute normals instead of default import normals. Just select compute normals and then go in the last of this section and then switch off import materials and import texture. So as a revision, what we'll have to do is switch off auto generate collision, switch off generate light map UVs, and switch off one convex hull per UCX, and then go inside materials and switch off import materials and switch off import texture, and then click import all. And we are assuming or are taking as a consideration or as an example that this project consists of 6000 exported meshes or objects from 3D Studio Max. I haven't exported all the objects from Max because of the tutorial. I only exported few objects, but if you break and do all this process and export all the objects, it may be 6000, 8000, 10,000, 3000, 1000. For an example, what I have set is these are the 6000 objects exported from 3ds Max, and that folder consists of 6000, and we are importing from 0 to 15, 0 to 15 to 3000, like that, as I said earlier. So 0 to 15, for as an example, 0 to 1500 object has been imported inside this content browser, and then now what you have to do is just click and drag and drop all those items in viewport. Once it gets dragged inside viewport, and when you get this setting of location, just go and make it 0 0 and then 0, because if you set this location 0 0 0, then what will happen is these objects will go to the exact location in 3D world where they are inside 3D Studio Max. That means the location of the object in 3D world, virtual world, it will be the same as inside Max, as inside, and same to the Max inside the Unreal Engine. So once you have made their location 0 0 0 and imported all of them, go to layer, and this layer panel, you can get this layer panel from Windows, and in this layer, after dragging and dropping and setting all the objects location to 0 0 0 and all the objects are still selected, go inside layer and then right click and then add selected actors to new layer. Click on this and you just make sure that all the objects were selected while you creating this thing, that is add selected layer, because if there is selected layers, that means the layer will consist all the selected layers while you are creating that layer. So now go and rename it, and rename it 01 underscore meshes, and we will keep all the meshes we are going to import inside Unreal Engine in this layer. But I will suggest is don't put more than 3000 objects on a single layer. If you have, suppose this is 1500, it's okay, we will keep this 1500 meshes on this object. I will let you know further. Once this is added on the mesh layer, go inside file, save all, so that because it automatic auto save we have switched off, we should be careful and we should save the file on a specific interval and on a specific level. Once any major activity is done, we will try to make a habit of saving the file, so that if it crashes, we will do not lose any lots of our work. Once this 0 to 1500 objects have been imported and then dragged and dropped inside viewport, and the location has been sent to 000, and then in layer we have made a layer on it, and then we have added all those selected object on that layer and we have renamed it. We will just hide them. Just select H. Once you press H, inside all the objects selected, they will be hidden. And now what we'll have to do is just find an empty area inside your content browser, inside mesh folder, and then again right click on that, and then go inside import, and then we assume that these are the 0 to 1500 objects. Now 1501 to 3000 objects we have selected, and as we have already renamed them numerically, you can figure out very easily where are from 0 to 15 and where are from 1501 to 3000. It will be very easy for you because of the rename process we involved in the optimization of the scene. So now go and click open, and now once we have set the import setting for the first time, it will keep this setting for a future. So just go ahead and use that same settings and import all objects, and once they are imported, just repeat the same process. The way, just as they are selected, just keep drag and drop inside viewport as we did in the last step, and then go ahead and make their location 0 0 and then 0, and after that go inside layer, right click, and then add selected actors to layer. Now we don't have to use this add selected actors to new layer. We already want to add those objects to the existing layer, and as I said earlier, we will keep 0 to 3000 objects on a single layer, not more than that, because if we do that, what will happen is it will be very difficult when we unhide or hide, and it may be sluggish sometime. To avoid that sluggishness, we will divide objects in layers. That means 0 to 1 mesh, 1 meshes will be from 0 to 3000, and 2 meshes layer will be having consisting 3000 to 6000 layer objects. Now once they are added on the layer, just go ahead, hide them, and then file again. One major step has been done. We'll go and save all. Control Shift S is the shortcut of that save all, and then again go and repeat that process until all the objects inside your exported folder from Max are inside your Unreal Engine content browser. While you are importing, if you get any of this message, simply ignore those messages and go ahead and keep importing objects. Just click OK and ignore that message. We don't need, because these messages come because of the null objects present inside the Max, and if they are null objects and it's not being imported inside Unreal Engine, it's even better for us because we don't need any null objects inside Unreal Engine, and if it's not importing them, then it's in our benefit. So just ignore it, click OK and proceed further with the import. Once it's imported, drag and drop, wait until you get this option activated. Sometime it may require some time. That means if you drag and drop the items, and if there are, for example, it's only 45 objects selected at the moment, but on actual project, when you have to import 6000 objects, there will be 0 to 1500 objects, and if you drag and drop those 1500 objects inside this viewport, it will take a few minutes or few seconds, or it will take a bit of time. So on that particular time, just be patient and let the objects get imported inside the viewport, and once it gets imported, then go ahead and then make all the objects location to 000. So while you are changing the location to 000, make sure all the objects in viewport are selected so that they go to their 000 location, and once they are inside and once the location has been set to 00, again right click, and now these objects are from 3000 to 4500, and I have already told you, no, don't put more than 3000 objects inside a single layer. So we will create another layer, and we will then use this section, that is add selected actors to new layer again, and we will rename them 02 underscore meshes, and on this we will keep from 3000 to 6000, and if there are 9000 then this will be 3 layers, that is 03 meshes, and in 03 meshes the objects will be from 6001 to 9000. And I hope you get what I meant here, and if you have any doubt about it, just please feel free to ask inside my comment section, and I will try my best to clear all your queries or your doubts or your any questions as much as possible in my abilities. Now again one major section and again one major portion of the work has been done, so hide it and then go file and then save all, and then we will bring the last section of our objects as an example, and these objects will be from 4500 to 6000. We have selected 4500 to 6000. This is an assumption, and then click open, and then again use the existing settings which we have put inside the import option, and then import all objects, and then drag them and drop them inside viewport. Wait for a few seconds. Then this waiting depends on the amount of number you are bringing. If it's 1500, it will take quite time, maybe it may take 45 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, depending on your RAM availability of RAM and your processor speed. And then again go inside location and then put 0 0 and then 0, and after that go inside this mesh and then add selected actors to this layer and then hide them. And now what we will have to do is Control H, then we will unhide all the objects inside the scene, and if we use this layer we can unhide and hide the objects as we require. And from here assume that you have brought all the objects from 3ds Studio Max exported folder inside your content browser, and the location will be mesh and here, and then you have saved all those things. And from here, once all the objects are imported inside Unreal Engine, what you will have to do is just go here on mesh layer, right click, select actors, and then go in material and then make a basic material. Now and click on material, in material folder go in material and then make 001 underscore basic underscore 0, or maybe base material. What we have done is we have made a base material and we have named it 01 base 01, and then we will create this material and then we will open this material, and once this is open we will dock it here, and then we will right click and go in constant, and then in constant 3 vector, and this constant 3 vector can be added 3 ways. First way was right click and then constant and this 3 vector, or you can drag them from here, or you just select 3 in your keyboard and then left click and you will create that constant vector. So once we have already created it, we'll just drag the output node of our 3 constant vector on the base color of the material and select the base material and go inside this detail panel and make it 2-sided. Once you have done this, go inside color and give it a extremely white color, absolute white color, and this will be our base material for applying it on all the objects for our testing purposes of the scene. And what that means I will let you explain here. We have made the material, and now we have selected all the objects present inside mesh layer, and then we will go ahead select the material in content browser and in material section, and then go inside material in details panel and then apply that material on 01 slot and 0 slot, both slots. And after that go inside this layer, right click, select materials, and then again this material has to be selected inside content browser and apply on every material slot present inside details panel. Just don't worry, go ahead and apply it. Just try to follow exactly same process, and I will let you know how to exactly do all the process. I will let you know every process involved to make the most photorealistic as possible. And after this step, what I will expect you guys is, you have imported all the objects inside Unreal Engine project content browser in a specific location where I mentioned it. And after that you have arranged everything, and then after that you have made a material inside basic material or base material inside your material folder, and you have applied that material base material on every object of the scene. That means this material has to be applied on all. Suppose there are 0 to 6,000 objects inside the scene, and they have already been brought here and arranged the way I have shown you in my video. Then this material should be applied on every object of the scene. So now in the next video I will let you know how we proceed further from here. And by then, have fun, take care, GG.